sleep in the mind. Most of us at some time or other have experienced that thing of having a busy brain, and the brain just won't let us drop off to sleep for whatever reason. So let's now have a look at some of the things that we might do to address this kind of issue. Most of us are likely to be familiar with this kind of feeling. So what sort of things might you have tried so far to attempt to calm your mind and your brain and improve sleep? You can think of these in 4 categories. There's distraction in all its forms. There's opting out for fear that things might interfere with sleep. There are thoughts that might preoccupy us and agitate us. And there are various substances that might alert the brain and alert the mind. So a way of remembering these is DOTS, dots. So take a few minutes to do this really useful exercise. And again, as we said before, a pen and paper might be useful at this point. So have a write down of all the various dots that you might have tried. And next to each one, write down what a use or effectiveness it has had in the short term. So we always do things for a reason. That will usually show up as some sort of short-term response. But then in the next column, write what use it's been in the long term. So as a result of doing this thing, are you now sleeping like a baby? And then finally, have a think about what each of these things might have cost you in terms of missing out on things or restricting your life in various ways. So have a real think about what consequence this has on the sort of ease of your life or quality of your life. So just to remember, dots. D, distractions. What might you do to distract yourself? O, opting out. What sort of things do you avoid doing just in case they might interfere with your sleep? It might be watching your favourite films in the night. T, what kind of thoughts regularly come up for you that interfere with sleep? So are there particular things that you might worry about? Or substances. So we talked about caffeine before, we talked about alcohol, we talked about smoking. Are there any particular substances that now you've got time to think about it, you might think, well, maybe this isn't helping? Loss of sleep usually starts to develop into a vicious cycle that looks something like this. The brain reacts to the struggle as though it's some kind of threat, and so it releases the stress chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol, and these promote the fight or flight response, which, if you think about it, is completely the opposite of what we're trying to do when we go to sleep. Also, sometimes you might try to force relaxation techniques to try and really make sleep happen. But again, this is just another form of struggle, and the brain reacts accordingly. I think we probably all know this feeling. In fact, for some of you, this might be a typical night's sleep at the moment. So if struggling to get sleep actually interferes with our ability to get to sleep, then the best way to make sleep more likely to happen is to stop struggling. So just watch the next little video clip that will give you some idea about dropping the struggle.